What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. I know some of you guys, although honestly not a lot of you guys, but some of you guys might be waiting for the college football prospect videos. Those should be coming a little later today. There's a couple things that I want to talk about before we get there. We might be doing those in the late afternoon or even the evening because I want to get to some other stuff first. Specifically, I want to talk a little bit more about these Seattle Seahawks, guys that are Seahawks right now, not guys that might be Seahawks in the future. There will be plenty of time for that later. But in this video in particular, I want to talk about one of the big improvements that the Seahawks have made from last year to this year, and also from the last several years to this year. And that area that I'm talking about is the run defense. Let's talk a little bit about run defense right after this. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today, get to it, and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, welcome back. So yeah, run defense. Guys, we are 7 games into the season. I know there's a lot of games left to play, but I feel fairly confident declaring this right now because it has been so definitive through 7 games. Mike Macdonald has fixed the Seahawks run defense. It is year 2 of the Mike Macdonald experiment. A lot of things are going right. And one of the things that is going very right, and maybe not the most impactful, but perhaps the most exciting and the most stark, is the way this run defense is playing. You can see it in the raw numbers. You can see it in some of the more advanced numbers. You see it everywhere you go. Teams are not running on the 2025 Seattle Seahawks. And by some measure, we have the best run defense in all of football. And think about the players they are using so far to accomplish that. Through 7 games, the Seahawks are, well, call it week 7 because not every team has played 7 games, but the Seahawks currently rank first in yards per game allowed on the ground at 75.7. They are the only team in the league to be allowing less than 76 yards per game on the ground. And yard per carry average, the Seahawks are currently second in yards per carry allowed at 3.3. Cleveland is a couple hundredths of a yard better. I think Cleveland's at like 3.26 and Seattle's at like 3.29. So it's very close, but Seattle is second. Now, whether or not you think Cleveland's run defense is better, that's, eye of the beholder, whatever. I'm not too worried about 0.03 yards per carry right now. The point is, you can make a compelling argument that Seattle has the best run defense in football. Second in yards per carry allowed, first in yards allowed. The only thing you can really say is the Seahawks haven't played a lot of the best running backs in football so far. They haven't played Jonathan Taylor. They haven't played Javonte Williams. They haven't played, as weird as this sounds, in terms of production, Rico Dowdle. He's been up there. The only top running backs they played so far this year are Travis Etienne. And by the way, they held Etienne to his worst game this season by far. So that counts for something. And Christian McCaffrey. And by the way, McCaffrey's only averaging like 3.5 yards a carry this year. So while he does have a decent number of yards, you wouldn't call him elite. Okay, that's really the only thing that can be said. If we were playing better running backs, yeah, the numbers would probably be not as good. But consider where this team has been in recent years, right? Last year, 2024, Seahawks run defense was below average at best. They allowed over 200 yards. Excuse me, my bad. Over 2,000 yards, which was 16th in the league, so right about average. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. It's a little out of control right now, but yeah. Yard per carry average 4.6, which was bad, 23rd in the league. So even last year, with Macdonald in tow, big problems with the run defense. Had a couple games last year where the run defense was really rough. Patriots game, first 49ers game. So big improvement over last year. And do I even need to talk about the last couple years of run defense with Pete Carroll? It was so bad it was costing us games, and it's hard for bad run defense to actually cost you games. In the modern NFL, you got to be really bad with run defense to actually have it make you lose. So much of this game comes down to quarterback play and passing, but 2023, 31st in yards allowed, 27th in yards per carry allowed. 2022, 30th in yards allowed, 26th in yards per carry allowed. 2021, you got to go back to 2021 to find the last year it was at least defensible. And even 2021, right? Okay, they're 17th in yards allowed, but they're second in yards per carry allowed, so that's good. That's a good run defense. But look what it cost you. You had a really rough pass defense. 31st in passing yards allowed, 24th in net yards per attempt. So it's like, okay, yeah, you've got a nice run defense, but it's not really helping you win games that much when you're talking about the opposing team getting into 3rd and 7 a lot and then just converting on you with a pass. 2020, kind of the same thing. Run defense numbers were actually really good. 5th in yards allowed, 5th in yards per attempt. But the pass defense, not very good. 31st in yards allowed, 15th in yards per net yards per attempt. And 2025, look, the pass defense in terms of the raw numbers hasn't been necessarily stellar. They're 22nd in yards allowed, but they're 5th in net yards per attempt. So in terms of actual like efficiency, they've actually been really good there too. So it's not like they're sacrificing their ability to play pass defense so they can stop the run. Again, I'm not somebody who thinks run defense is the most important thing in the world, but it's been so bad in Seattle for so long. I could keep going, by the way. 2019, the run defense was not very good. 2018, especially by the end of the year, the run defense started to break down. You got to go back to the Legion of Boom era to find run defense that was playing this well without compromising the integrity of the pass defense. And consider a couple things here. The Seahawks have managed to do this, have arguably the best run defense in football. They've done this with Mike Macdonald's defense, which lives in nickel. So understand, this team is not living in base defense and they're stopping the run because they have 3 linebackers on the field. They basically never have 3 linebackers on the field, right? They haven't radically changed their defensive philosophy from last year, right? They have light boxes. Macdonald's defenses are known for light boxes, and it's not like he's stacking the box very much this year. We've talked about this before. He's actually got a very low stacked box rate compared to other teams in the league. So it's not just the bodies. And you might also say, well, it's because he got the right players, but what players has he consistently had access to so far this year that are making this run defense great? Is it Nick Eamon-Warry? No, he's missed more than half of the snaps so far this year. He's played less than 50% of Seattle defensive snaps. Is it Devin Witherspoon? No, he's missed a big chunk of the season so far too. He's missed more than half the snaps, I think. Tariq Woolen, he's missed a decent chunk of the season. DeMarcus Lawrence has missed a couple of games. Derek Hall has now missed a couple of games, and we all know how good D-Law is on run defense, and Derek Hall has been much improved in that area. Haven't been able to count on having him for every game. Julian Love has missed games. Like, he is getting this done, Tyrese Knight, big regression. You've had to put Drake Thomas out there a lot, especially the last couple games. Run defense was supposed to be the big problem in Drake Thomas's game. By putting him out there so much, supposedly, theoretically, you're sacrificing run defense, but this team remains pretty much untouchable here. So it's not just like, oh, he got a bunch of new players. There's a little bit of that. Like, he has got a full year of Ernest Jones this year, but realistically, it's Byron Murphy's improvement as a player. That's been part of this. Having Ernest Jones for the whole season. And what else? What else has really changed personnel-wise from last year? Again, not Eamon Warry, because Eamon Warry's played less than half the snaps. A lot of our top defensive guys have missed time, and that's hurt us in some areas. It's not hurting us here. And consider this, the only team that the Seahawks have played so far this year to even get over 90 rushing yards as a team is the 49ers in week 1. And they needed to run the ball like 36 times or something to get their 110 yards. It wasn't even a good rushing game for them, really. At least it wasn't efficient. But this is kind of crazy so far. Like, maybe I would have believed that we could have had a rush defense season like this if everybody was healthy. But to do this when so many key defensive guys are in and out of the lineup, it really speaks to how good a job Macdonald is doing. And of all the things that he has turned around in the last year and a half in Seattle, I don't know if this is the most important, but it might be the most impressive just because of how weak it's been for some time now. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later, but I wanted to talk about this for a bit. Great development. Love it. Go Hawks.